Hi, my name is Trisha and I'm going to talk to you about insurance fraud. Insurance is the agreement between an insurer and a client in which the client pays the insurance provider an agreed amount of money in exchange for the company to monetarily cover them in case of a specified unfortunate event that occurs beyond the control of the client. Insurance fraud is when there is a breach in contract, discovered or not by either the insurer or the insured. Insurance fraud is not only committed by the clients of an insurance company, but also can be committed by the insurance company employees themselves. The types of insurance fraud committed by clients are usually purposeful loss, fabrication of loss, or exaggeration of loss. Examples might be misstating annual auto mileage or other important numbers, failing to reveal pre-existing damage to a covered item, exaggerated injuries, invented accidents, padding, or conspiracy with network service providers. Fraud committed by insurance company employees usually involves purposely filling out customer forms wrong or entering misleading information on the client into the records for their own benefit. The main motivation for insurance fraud is profit seeking. In the eyes of a client, they can overstate their damages in order to get more compensation from the insurance company. Or in the eyes of the employee, they might put their own numbers on the forms in order for them to get more money, or the company. Other motivations for insurance fraud are a sense of entitlement, desperation, or resentment. Now, the impact of insurance fraud is huge in the United States. The violation of an insurance contract leads to inequalities and inefficiencies within the insurance company. Because of some consumers inflating their claims, all of the consumers' premiums can be highly unfair and higher. There will be inefficiencies if the possibility of profiting through fraud distorts insurance purchase decisions, loss prevention, or claiming incentives. Therefore, insurance fraud definitely has negative consequences for society. Insurance fraud is the second largest white-collar crime, only second to tax evasion. It costs insurance companies, policymakers, and taxpayers billions of dollars every single year. The most common type of insurance fraud is padding insurance claims. Padding is purposeful inflation or overstatement of the actual value of a loss when making a claim with the policyholder's insurance company. Now, while this might not seem like it would cost the insurance companies very much money, millions of people are doing it, which they do, and it costs the insurance company millions, and therefore costs their clients millions. Now, research has shown that a majority of people are actually relatively tolerant of insurance fraud and find it justified most of the time. This shows that a majority of people have a belief in a justice-based ethical approach, which is based on fairness. The deductible in insurance contracts influences the majority of people in determining whether they think an insurance claim padding is more or less unethical. For example, an incident of insurance claim padding will be seen as less unethical when the deductible in the insurance contract is high than when it is low. There are three ethical philosophies for decision making. The first one is moralism. Now, moralists believe that there is a universal set of defined rules determining right from wrong. When you look at insurance fraud, under a moralistic standpoint, it will most likely be determined as wrong or unethical. Utilitarianism looks at the consequences of an action to determine right from wrong. It looks to achieve maximum benefit for the greatest number of people, i.e. the ends justify the means. Now, under utilitarianism, insurance fraud could look ethical or unethical depending on the situation. Justice theory focuses on the fairness of the outcome of an action. Fairness is determined by whether rewards or punishments are distributed based on the individual needs, rights, and merits of the parties involved. Well, under justice theory, insurance fraud can either look ethical or unethical, depending on the situation, just like utilitarianism. Now, ever since insurance was invented, they have come up with different regulations and procedures trying to prevent insurance fraud. Most of them don't work too well. One of the most peaceful ways is through consumer education and policy disclosures intended to raise awareness of illegitimate or unethical consumer behavior. I think this policy might actually help a little bit because I'm sure many people do not read their insurance policy details that go over the unethical behavior that they should not do. So I think that in turn could actually help at least a little bit. A more aggressive approach is through formation of a large, well-financed special investigation units by insurers to investigate claim validity and prove fraud and abuse not only through claim denials but also through courts. Now, I believe this method would be very useful, but it is very expensive and very time-consuming, so it's not one of the main approaches to prevent insurance fraud in that way. Another way to help prevent fraud is through marketing ethics, or by removing high fraud risk products and hence cheating opportunities and temptations, re-educating insurance sales staff from recruiting many to recruiting honest customers, and focusing on values, caring, and responsibility whenever interacting with customers. Now, I think the peaceful ways can help at least a little bit, but honestly, the more aggressive ways help more. But sadly, through the more aggressive ways, the insurance fraud examiners that go and investigate are very restricted on what they can and can't do based on the International Code of Ethics. So sadly, they don't get as much done as they would like to in preventing insurance fraud. But whenever you look at the prevention of insurance fraud, it is a lot more cheap compared to using legal enforcement and policing. So that is why people keep trying to push to prevent it instead of trying to use policing, because it is way less expensive. And that's it. Thank you.